Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, it is great to have you. And today I have a pretty bold Bitcoin price prediction and technical analysis. Now, I'm going to be making the case that Bitcoin is actually very bullish from its point right now. Even though it fell over 7% in the last 24 hours, I think that is actually at a very opportune spot. Now, in order to get a full understanding of this, we're going to be zooming out. We're going to be moving from the 4-hour to the 1-day chart to kind of get a bit more of what's happening on this macro, but to also see that while there are parallel channels and pennants and all kinds of divergence happening really in the back end, I want to kind of break this down and show where we are at right now and how we just failed a golden cross and why I still think that that is a very good possibility of still happening. So if any of that sounds interesting, I know it was a mouthful, make sure you guys stick around for the entire length of the video, as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this one, because this is going to be an action-packed episode. So first thing with Bitcoin, I think what we can immediately notice, and I think one of the most important things to see over here, is that Bitcoin did fall over 7% in the last 24 hours. Now, we are very, very close to this golden cross, and from the reversal of this death cross that we really had over here in September 4th of 2020. So when this happened, we were really kind of seeking to rectify and get rid of this death cross by enabling a golden cross on the 4-hour time scale. Now, obviously, we did come up here into a little bit of a bull trap scenario where the golden cross did not happen, and in fact, we broke through both of the EMAs on the 4-hour and came back down to a new higher swing low, at least for the time being. Now, this was actually something that I talked about in my live stream yesterday, and how while we were already seeing rejections on Bitcoin in this area, and how that there were 3 different forms of resistance. The first being from this white line of resistance that I have right here, just a simple trend line from a rising parallel channel that we had. The second being the previous bottom current top of this massive parallel channel that we'll see as I zoom out over in here. But the third one, and I think arguably the most significant of these 3, being the previous bottom and now being the current top. Because what we saw is over here on 1, 2, 3, 4, and even 5 different times, Bitcoin tested this level as support. And so what was support is now going to be considered resistance. So with that actually happening on Bitcoin, it made a lot of sense as to why it rejected here. And I also thought it would make a lot more sense if we were to start forming a pennant case scenario for Bitcoin. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And if we zoom out and we connect our support from what we had over here with where we bottomed out over in this area, and then obviously our 2 previous points of resistance, it would make a lot of sense that we could very well be in a giant pennant. Now, if we are in a giant pennant, I think that it would be pretty safe to say that if we're looking at a giant pennant from the course of this year, this could very well be a bullish case scenario for Bitcoin, because what this could show is that the previous top, not once, not twice, but 3 times on Bitcoin, could be the current bottom of where we are at. This would mean, if we zoom out and look at this on a 1-day time scale, and it's going to look a whole lot cleaner, this is kind of what this would look like. And so what this would be is previous resistance used as support. Now, this is on a macro time scale. This isn't 1 day, this isn't 1 week, this isn't even 1 month. This is almost a year of support to date from when we last tested, or from when we first tested this level in October of 2019. We're almost pushing into October of 2020. So what this would mean is that we are on a macro scale testing former resistance as support. And if we can bounce and hold here, that would be a monumental sign for Bitcoin, as it could be ready to hit new highs. But again, it really does need to hold this area, and ultimately it really needs to hold this last swing low, because a lower swing low at this point could be a little bit dangerous for Bitcoin. But I don't really think that there's any reason to talk about that yet, because there are no detrimental warning signs. We're bouncing off of support, we're still forming those higher swing lows, and I think what we need to see now is a little bit more of a higher swing high. So with Bitcoin ultimately, looking like it wants to play inside of this pennant, I think that what we have to determine is that, if this is a pennant, I would say that this would actually be a bullish pennant. Why? Because we've been on this uptrend all year, and we've been on an uptrend leading to the formation of this pennant, which would lead me to believe that it is more of a bullish case scenario on top of this bottoming from the previous resistance now turned support. So what are the possibilities from Bitcoin, I guess, moving forward? So the big possibilities here are obviously support breaks. And things go from bad to worse very fast. And when I say bad to worse, I mean, it's not just like, like we dropped 7%. I mean, it could be like double that. I mean, you could go 14%, 20%, and it wouldn't be anything too crazy. And so from where we're at right now on Bitcoin, if we were to drop like double that, that would probably put us back into like the 8,000s, which would make a lot of sense. And I think that that would be about a 15% move to the downside. And the reason that I say that area is because that is the previous kind of bottoming area from this consolidation. And, if we break that, then things go from bad to worse to very bad worse. But to the bullish aspect of this, because I think ultimately that's what this video is about. If Bitcoin's going to move anywhere from here, we can go ahead and do a measured move. If it wants to go back up to the 50 EMA, which is kind of like the median point right now, what that would be is about from the bottom to the bounce would be about 6% to the upside. And if it wants to go all the way back up to the top, that would probably put us at about 11 to 12%. And from our current point of where we're at right now, that would put us somewhere around 8 to 9% to the upside. So ultimately, if this breaks out, I think that that would be the biggest form of bullishness that anyone can see. Now, obviously, breakouts are bullish, but if Bitcoin is able to break such a monumental level of resistance, that is this previous bottom, 3 different forms of resistance between trend lines, from micro trend lines, macro trend lines, and former support now turned resistance at the high, I think that that could be a very good argument for Bitcoin moving forward. So if you're a bull, you kind of like what you're seeing right now. Obviously, you don't like to see the red day, but on a larger scale, one could definitely make quite the convincing argument that Bitcoin is not looking too bad on the macros. So, I think that was a mouthful, but hopefully we were able to get our point across. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did, hit that like and subscribe button to see more content like this. And drop a comment in the comment section, because I love being able to chat and interact with you guys down in there. But with that being said, that is going to go ahead and wrap up this video. So if you guys did enjoy, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.